What's up, y'all? Welcome to Fury Talks. I'm your host, Seth Fury. So recently I seen a clip from Sweetie in which she was talking about how to bag an 8-figure dude. And it really got me thinking on the concept of men and women and the roles that they play in each other's lives. So today I have two guests with me, man and woman for the first time, so that we can hatch this out live and really get the perspectives from both angles and see how we feel. So with that being said, allow me to introduce Miss T. Hello.
Hi.
My boy Chris. What's up, my man?
How you?
So good to have you guys here. So, as mentioned, this is my first time having guys and girls. So it's gonna be good hearing from both of y'all because oftentimes they'll say, y'all should have had a woman on the show because that's not how we feel. And I feel like I tap into the woman's mind pretty well, but now we got a real woman. So when it comes to men and women, I feel like nowadays it has absolutely been a lot more encouraged, almost required, that men have to be the ones that are the moneymakers, that are funding everything. And most girls won't even give them the time of day without having those resources, right? So, Chris, as a man, how do you feel like that has affected you, or you just used to that, as far as always having to be the breadwinner in a relationship?
Yeah, I become kind of used to it, accustomed to it, so to say. And it really just states back to the fact that, growing up, you're taught, like, take care of your woman, take care of your girl, pay the bills, make sure you put the food on the table, that type of thing. So
those are the basic fundamentals, but being an 8-figure dude, that's like extreme. That's a whole different level of just covering the bills and living a humble life.
Well, I can't speak from being an 8-figure person because I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I will be, but,
my man.
I'm used to like having fun, paying for stuff for females. Like if I bring a girl out, if I invite a girl and she brings her friends, I'm gonna pay for everybody. I'm not just gonna pay for her. Like, I feel like if you're inviting someone somewhere or you're hanging out with someone, then it kind of comes along with the territory. Okay,
so T. Hi, T.
Hi.
Would you date? I want to get your mindset because you are in the Hollywood scene. Like you're absolutely in it. You make your own money, and what type of men do you date? Will you date a guy that doesn't have money?
No.
You okay? Well, then I'm glad you're here. Okay. So tell me why, and then I want to know what is money. Like how much money is considered money? So first answer.
Well, my thing is I don't really dive into what someone's finances is right off the bat.
Okay.
I'm not thinking like, oh, you have to be this extremely rich person in order to get my attention, but you do have to have a career, you do have to be stable,
That makes sense.
And you have to be able to provide for yourself.
Okay.
So those are just my standards.
What if a guy just had his bills covered, had a nice apartment, and he had a humble job, but he wasn't like a full-on boss, and he couldn't take you on big trips and buy gifts and Birkin bags? Like, would that affect you in your decision-making process?
Well, what's a humble job?
Something that paid the bills. I mean, more than McDonald's.
What if he worked at Starbucks?
Okay, but he's a nice guy, good heart.
Well, what are his goals? Is he going to forever work at Starbucks?
Okay, of
That's
course, you got to be ambitious. Okay, so if somebody was in a beginning phase of their life where they were growing, because at some point somebody wasn't where they were, like you had to climb up to something, right? And we've all gone through those levels in the trenches, but do you feel as if you're on the upcoming or the coming up that you can't be an eligible potential to be a man or you're a man?
Well, for me, I feel like if you're working towards something as a man, are you really ready for a relationship anyway?
Chris, what do you think about that?
She brings up a valid point. On our last show, we talked about timing, and sometimes you're in the midst of your career, and you don't have time when you're hustling, and you're trying to build your career. But I feel like it's all relative to what a person calls money, right? Because what one person might think is money, someone else might think is not money.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a man, if you could provide for the woman, we're not talking Birkin bag. Like Birkin bags are unrealistic unless you just have crazy money like that. Like I think people get caught up in by the Birkin bag hype, not knowing really what a Birkin bag costs or that type of things. But if you could take your girl out, take her on trips, and you're still fiscally responsible, can pay your bills and everything, I feel like you're able to date that woman while you're working towards your goals of becoming wealthier.
Okay.
But if you work at Starbucks, and not just Starbucks, anywhere, because I don't want anyone who works at Starbucks, don't feel bad about that.
Yeah.
But if you're working towards your goals, like she said, you might not. Maybe you should date within your realm, so to say.
So there's a price category as to who you can select. Like you gotta look at a girl,
1000%.
but how much you make? Nah, it's too much. Next, how much you like? Who would want to decipher between women of that using that measure?
Well, you have to know what you're up against, right?
Okay.
Let's take T for example. If someone wanted to date T,
Yeah.
and she's used to a certain lifestyle,
Okay.
you can't then come into her life and alter that and expect for her to lower her standards because you're not where you need to be.
Okay. I
Financially.
can understand the lifestyle and being used to something, not wanting to go back to being like super humble. Okay, I get that part. But I feel like nowadays, more so than just that one example that you just gave, women who have never even had that before, they've never had that lifestyle. They are being taught by public figures that are telling them, girl, don't even give a man your attention that doesn't have less than enough to do this and do that. And then they have these images of them holding bags and money and just an abundance of it. And I'm just looking at it like that's so unrealistic for the vast majority of men in the world, right? So that's where I kind of get thrown off. I'm like, what is the role? Like, are we simply here just to spoil you? Is it because there's so much more, you know, traditionally that men bring to relationships that I feel like is so overlooked nowadays. T, talk to me.
Well, I actually have like a variety different type of women of friends. So some of my friends will say like, you know, the expectation that a man has to buy you this and has to buy you that and you can't even afford it yourself is just unacceptable. And like I have a lot of friends that say like the pressure on men, especially black men, is just it's disrespectful and it's unrealistic and it's just kind of mean, you know. But then I have a lot of other friends that would say, you know, absolutely not. Like if he can't do it, then what are we doing? Because they feel like, you know, their worth and their value should line up with, you know, the things that a man buys for them.
I don't feel like any man should put himself in a rat race to try and get money just to prove to some female
Absolutely.
that, you know, oh, I can buy you this or I can buy you that for you to mess. Because if your relationship is based upon what you can buy for her, it's never going to work because there's always going to be somebody else who can buy more.
Yeah.
So you can't base a relationship upon materialistic stuff. But if you find somebody and you guys vibe, right? And depending on the type of women that you're going after, you got to know it's levels.
Yeah.
It's just levels. It's just life. Like there's levels to the women that you go after. And if you're not in that level, you got to know that.
I feel it. Okay, so T, let me ask you this. Would you, as a woman who makes some good money, would you ever see yourself paying or covering, like being the breadwinner for a man?
I don't think that it's typically a healthy decision.
Okay.
Or like a responsible decision on my part, only because if I am making more money than the other man, usually it'll cause like some insecurities in the relationship.
Okay.
And so it's like for me, why would I put myself through that when, you know, there's gonna be a cause and effect with that type of a relationship.
Do you think there are things that you could do to the man to make him not feel so insecure? If the roles were switched like that?
No.
No.
There's nothing I can do to make you feel better about yourself.
Okay.
You know, like I can try to make you feel like, you know, like when they say, oh, you got to make him feel like a man.
Yeah. But
realistically, you kind of could be making it worse.
Yeah.
Because then it'll be like a pity party. And men know when that's going on, especially if you're making more money than them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like any real woman, if you're in a situation like, say I was dating a woman and I'm taking care of everything and, you know, God forbid something happened and I went bankrupt or something.
Yeah.
I feel like any real woman in that situation would step up if she was in position to take care of the household. And like, look, I got us for now. Get yourself back together. But no woman wants to take care of a man who has no goal or no ambition.
Yes.
And they're just, you know, feeling like they came up off that woman.
Yeah, I get that.
So it all goes back to like, you know, ambition, goals, and how much time is enough time for a woman to hold a man down.
Yeah, that makes sense. So a lot of these ways of thinking are basically based off of traditional ways. It's based off of a man should be this type of way and a woman should be this type of way. And if anything falls out of that scope, suddenly it's just frowned upon, right? So let's move it over to sexuality, because this is where things get interesting, because it's a new day, it's 2020. People are swapping roles all the time. Things are getting interesting because people are bored. They're tired of the same norm, right? So when it comes to dominance, you typically expect that to be the man, right? Man comes home, he lays it down, woman follows lead, and that's it. Nowadays, I think things are switching a little bit more. I think women are starting to like enjoy the powerful role, and guys are enjoying that too. You tell me, as a woman, are you typically more turned on by a dominant man sexually or submissive person that allows you to kind of take the lead?
I think it just depends on what and who.
Somebody you actually like, someone you wanted to be your man.
If I want somebody to be my man, then
Yeah.
for sure dominant. I would rather
Okay.
them be dominant.
Okay. So if he was submissive, but he had all the other traits of a man, but at the same time in the room, he just enjoyed letting you take lead. You would just be like, nah, this ain't gonna work.
No, I mean, it would be fine. I just,
Okay.
what I'm turned on by, if you're my man,
Okay.
would be dominance.
Chris, what are your thoughts?
I'm curious on
What are you? What would you consider yourself?
I'm kind of, if you read my book 51 Shades of Chocolate, you'll know what I'm about.
Check it out.
Wow.
I'm dominant. I'm dominant.
Okay.
Yeah. I like kind of rough, not all the time, but like
Yeah.
more so that's what I'm about.
Like being in control. Okay.
Yeah.
You had a quick question I kind of thought you were about to go
Oh
to.
yeah. So if it's not your man, T, are you dominant?
Yeah.
I saw a movie not too long ago. Or actually, it was a TV show. And I don't know if you guys saw Mad Men at all. It was a scene in the movie where the guy told her basically to stay in the bed, don't get out of the bed until I get home from work. Crazy. And she literally stayed in bed all day, was afraid to even tap her toe off that bed because she felt like she'd be breaking his command. And by the time he got home, God knows how long, probably 24 hours, she was in that bed and he came in and she obviously was showing him that she abided by his command and she was so turned on by it, right? That's like that slave mentality, right? That full-on submissive, I want somebody to just tell me what to do and if they say it right, I'm gonna follow along. I don't know. I mean, so would you want somebody that you could just command and boss around like that would just come and do whatever you wanted to? Like, is that something that excites you?
Yeah, if he wasn't my man.
Okay, so you would just have some random guy.
No, it would have to be a random
Okay,
guy.
yeah. So somebody that wasn't your man, you like, he ain't never gonna be my man.
Right, like I wasn't interested
Yeah.
in a relationship. Like
Gotcha.
everything might be platonic.
But he looks good. I'm
But-
physically attracted to him.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Okay, let me ask you this. This is the question I ask my friends quite often, right? And it really comes down to givers or takers, right? If I were to ask you, and you had your dream possible woman, I'll just ask you right now.
Okay.
I don't know who your dream woman is. You can
I
say
got
it or
someone
you
in
can keep
mind.
it in your mind.
I'm not gonna say it. I got someone in mind.
Okay. In case you meet her in real life one day.
I met her.
You have met her. Okay. So if she gave you the option, she said, Chris, look, it's gonna go one way or the other way. You can't have both. Pick one. You can either eat me out all night and have your way with me in that regard, or I'm gonna stay fully dressed and I'm gonna service you. And that's just gonna be what it is. Which one do you pick? And this tells a lot about a person's character based off this answer.
I'm eating her out constantly.
Okay. And you're cool with the idea.
1000%.
Explain your rationale, and I want to hear it. See if it
Me
matches up with mine.
personally, I
Yeah.
like that. Like and females who know me know that.
Yeah.
I like that. I get off on that. Like my head between her legs, she grabbed me. Like to me, that turns me on more than anything.
Gotcha.
And that's just me, my psychic. I'm wired a little different.
I agree with what you said. I've always been that way because I just feel like there's more excitement that comes from the idea of pleasing. I've had girls that wouldn't even let me go down on them because they were so fixated on being the pleaser. She was like, no, it's okay, just lay back. I'm like, I don't want to lay back no more. Like, I don't have mine. Like, let me enjoy the other aspect of what you have, right? There's certain things about you personally that I want to experience. And I can't experience that if you're just simply making me lay back. Everybody got a mouth. Not everybody has your curves and your figure and your scent and your pheromones. Like, these are things that I want to feel from you personally, right? Would you consider that submissive by being somebody who would like take that option?
So if a girl told me, look, come by here 9 o'clock tonight,
Yeah.
eat my pussy and leave.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get that graphic, but
Yes.
if a girl told me that,
Yeah.
I'll be there at 8:59.
Okay.
By the way. Like, yo, let's get to it.
Okay.
I'll be submissive in that. Like, okay, damn, like she telling me what to do. Kind of like, cause I'm an alpha male, so I'm used to like kind of being a boss and bossing shit around throughout the day. So if a girl wants to be that role, cool, I'm with it. Like, let's get to it. You know, I'll leave. Hope you had a great time. Pencil me in next week.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
So if a man did that to you, T, how would you look at them? As far as like in your mind, would you be like, this little punk, get out of my house?
I would be like, ooh, a toy.
Okay, so that's just the furthest extent you would look at them. Like it's literally just because he did that and he was willing to accept that role. That's it. Like you can no longer look at him the next day when he comes by to make you breakfast as that man. That's gonna be my man. You're just like
if he makes me breakfast, I'm gonna be like, a toy that makes me breakfast.
Okay, take the breakfast part off. If he just showed up the next day after a night of literally being your bitch for the night, could you look at him the next day with that same level of respect?
I mean, well, you called him a bitch.
I mean,
Yeah, like, I was gonna say
no,
like,
I'm saying because I mean,
he's not a bitch.
he's
because
not. Okay, like if you're, okay, what I mean by you're not a bitch, but when you're in the bedroom and things are graphic and you're picking roles, like she might make you her bitch because you're literally submitting to a woman who is obviously going to be, it's going to be like some role play type stuff. You're not going to just show up to a girl's house and start doing that unless there was some kind of energy already established between the two of you. It's most likely going to be a dominating situation because that's not really lovemaking. That's servicing and getting the hell out, similar to that girl that was asked to stay in the bed on the TV show. It's he made her his bitch in that sense because of the fact that she accepted that role of being dominated, right?
And I think it's just all, of course, to like perspective.
Yes.
Because you don't have to necessarily be a bitch
You're
just
not
because
a
you're
bitch.
taking
No, that's not what it is.
commands
It's not
from someone.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying that you are.
you're
I'm
saying you're
in that
being
moment.
submissive, right?
Okay.
But I'll give you one. I'll give
Yes.
you one.
Give me some.
All right, so I've been in a situation where I've met a female.
Okay.
And the same night,
Okay.
go to her house,
Yeah.
right? I eat her out. She wants to fuck.
Yeah.
I don't fuck her.
Okay.
Drove her crazy because she wanted to. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I wanted to please you. So I
Gotcha.
feel like you might be submissive, but you're getting pleasure yourself.
That's different because that was something that you chose to do. That was your own decision. It's not like she came by and said, you ain't touching me. You gonna get here, do this, and get out.
True.
That is so different.
It was like there was like another step to it, and
That's
then
a-
you kind of took control back in the situation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that was more consensual of a decision you both made rather than a command that was given, which, not to say the guy's a biatch, but I think that in that moment, he accepted that role for the sake of playing. Like, it was just fun. He knows that when it's all over, he goes back to being a man. But in that moment, if you're really gonna dive into the psychology of dominant and submissive, one person is bitching the other guy or the other person around. But you accept that because it's exciting. You're like, okay, no one's ever gonna know about this. My boys will never know that I was licking her boot and stuff like that. But because it's my girl or it's just a girl that I'm very much into sexually, let's have some fun. Let's role play. Let's have some characters, and I will accept my role for tonight.
Did
So
you say
now I'm
licking
wondering,
her boot?
huh?
You say her boot?
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying I do that, but
Okay.
there's some things that put your little boot down. Ain't nobody licking your boot. But those are things that take place in that type of 50 Shades of Grey role or 51 Shades of Chocolate role.
I think
Shout
whatever
out to
role
Chris.
you play
Yes.
in the bedroom
Yeah.
is the role that you play in the relationship.
Really?
So if you're dominant, you typically,
Yeah.
some people switch, like sometimes some people are submissive and then sometimes they switch to dominant and then
Yeah.
they switch roles, or sometimes the woman's like, dominant outside, but then when they get in the bedroom,
Yeah.
I don't really know if that's a real thing. If she's dominant outside, if she's like bossing him around on the streets, she's definitely bossing him around in the bed.
If she's bossing him around in the streets, yeah.
And
if
if-
she's a boss in the streets, but not necessarily with him, then she could be submissive to him when she comes home. But if you out in public and she's like, "Get me a plate of water,"
Oh, if
or,
your woman bosses you
yeah.
around.
But that's what
At
I'm.
that point,
but that's
yeah.
what I'm saying
That's
though.
true.
Like whatever is going on outside is most likely going on inside. If you see the girls that are like over there, man, he's dicking her down.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
that's
good.
when she's the submissive and he's
Yeah.
the dominant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Are there certain things in the bedroom that would take place between you and a man that would automatically look at him as a punk if he enjoys certain things? Like, let's just say he likes getting his toes sucked or something like that.
Him? He likes getting his toes?
Or he likes getting his nipples licked.
Okay, if you're a man
Let me hear it.
and you like getting your nipples licked, I would do my best not to judge you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not my thing. I'm going to think it's a little strange.
Why so?
For me,
Yeah.
I just don't like that.
So you are putting roles on the sexual moves now.
There are certain things that
Okay.
I feel like can be a little strange.
I do
I
think
agree
there's
with
certain.
that.
Okay,
I agree
obviously
with
there's
that.
certain things,
Like,
but
and sometimes people say sex is just sex or it's just fun or whatever, and I can agree with that to a certain extent.
and your extent stops at the nipples.
No, it's not even that. It's just like that's just not what I want to do. Like
Okay.
I just don't want to be licking on somebody's hairy ass, flat ass nipple. Like, or you know,
okay.
in Chris's case, might be a little chubby.
Yeah.
But
No chubby nipples.
Give me
but
that C
I don't
cup.
want to be
Yeah.
licking on no man's nipples. It's not my
Okay.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's
Okay.
not what I like.
But
to
if
do.
your girl told you a story of her and her man the night before,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "Oh, girl, I was looking on his nipples and he was loving it," and would you look at her and be like, "Oh,
No, we would kiki. I have a friend
Okay.
that she told me that she sucked this man's his toes,
Okay.
like his
Yeah.
feet, and I was like, "Oh my God, you did that?" She was like, "Yeah, girl." And I was like, "Is that what these girls are out here doing?"
Yeah.
Like she was like, "Yeah, girl, girls are out here sucking niggas' toes."
The
I
thing
was
about
like,
Go ahead,
See,
Chris.
for me, there's certain things I won't do.
Okay.
Like even if a girl is a freak and into certain shit, it's certain
Yeah.
things I'm not gonna do.
Well, you got to draw your lines, of course. But I just feel like there are certain basic things that I think people are so quick to judge and put on. This belongs to women. This belongs to men.
Right.
We both got toes, okay? And if I decide to put my toe in somebody's mouth, okay? I get it if you got some busted up feet. By all means, girl, please pass that one, okay? But if it's tolerable, like I like to believe mine are, I don't feel like I'd be feeling less of a man by getting my toes licked. I just feel like it feels good. We both got the same nerves and little, sensations as the other person. Why do I have to be stuck to the same old basic head? Why can't I enjoy some nipple biting?
"You can."
Yeah, but without being judged at the
That's
same
what I'm
time.
saying. Like, I feel like some women, like for me, like I'm going to do my best
Okay.
not to judge you. And if you're my man, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
when you're in a partnership and you're in a relationship, everything's off the table. If you guys are two sexual experimenting people, you have to be wary of they might not like doing that.
Yeah.
They may not be open to that.
Yeah.
They might judge you for that.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with you liking what you like.
Yeah.
You know?
What you think, Chris?
I agree, and I feel like as a man, certain things you shouldn't do in the bedroom
Okay.
As
as a man. Like as a man, getting something done to you.
Okay.
There's certain things where like, okay, now you're taking it too far. And
So
What's the breaking point?
the breaking point to me is
Yeah.
I'm not with the ass play.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I personally, if we gonna go there, let's just go there.
Okay.
I'll eat pussy, lick
Yeah.
ass, all that.
Yep.
Face first, love it.
Yep.
I'm not getting my ass ate. I'm not
Okay.
laying on my back, putting my legs up. I'm not doing none of that. That's to me is where the line gets cut.
Okay.
And I
That's
know
just your preference, though.
my preference.
But
My preference.
if a man does like those things,
Mm-hmm.
does he have to be gay?
No, it's not that he's gay,
Right.
but he's definitely at that point.
Or even a submissive
He's
punk
this.
or anything.
He's very submissive at that point.
Okay. And he's taking on the more of a feminine route.
Yes,
Okay.
1000%.
There's lots of arguments that could be made to that. I'm not going to dive into it too much, but I do believe I've always had the fundamental belief that whatever you do with a woman will never fall into a gay category. That's my general basis, right?
Because she's a woman?
Because she's a woman, and
No,
technically,
not true.
Hold on now, second now. Technically, as a matter of just facts, the way I see it is anything that's done in the bedroom between a man and a woman can never be looked at as homosexual or gay, because that's just not how it works out. You see what I mean? There's obviously some activities that might be questionable, but for the most part, you should feel comfortable to explore some stuff with your girl.
1 second.
Go.
1 second. Because I have female friends.
Yes.
As you guys all know, that I'm very close with. And, I hear certain stories, not from them in particular, but, they could be talking about their girlfriend or somebody did something.
Yeah.
And like, oh, this girl I know, she stuck something in his ass or whatever. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not gonna say it's homosexual. I'm not gonna say it's gay, but no man should get anything, thumb, tongue, anything deep stuck into him.
I get what you're going
Put things
with.
up their booty if they want
No,
to.
I get that.
I mean,
I
if
get
they
that.
want to,
Yeah.
I'm saying without it being something else. Because you said nothing done between a man and a woman is gay.
Here's
That's
what
what
I
you're
say.
saying.
I
If
will
a girl
say,
lick on the booty hole.
Licking on a
this
booty
is
hole
what
is
I will
different.
say. This is what I will say. And like I said, this
Licking
will-
is different.
If a girl pegs a man,
If a girl puts her finger or a thumb or an object inside of a man, it's questionable.
I will
it
say,
could be questionable.
I think it's very questionable. You might have some questions. You might wonder to yourself, does he like this? Does he like this with other people? Let's say men, for example.
Okay, would you like a man that like that?
Would
That's
I
a good
like a
question.
man
Yeah.
that likes what?
That enjoyed those activities.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, how do you really know if they're going to enjoy that? How do you know if they enjoy that activity? And what if somebody doesn't let you know? Let's say I could be in a relationship with someone for 5 years. Now all of a sudden they're like, look on my booty. I'm already in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I feel
That's
like
what I'm saying,
this
like
is
partnerships.
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes down to partnerships and you're in relationships, it
Yeah.
comes to a point where you're just like, you got to come up with some type of a compromise. Or
Yeah.
yes, you're going to have questions, of course. You're going to say, well, why?
Right.
Or have you done that before?
Yeah.
Where did this come
Where,
from?
Yeah.
you know, but sometimes shit just happens, you know, like the first time I got my butthole licked,
Yeah.
it wasn't like on purpose.
It just slipped.
It
And
just,
it
and I was
ended
like,
up
whoa!
Okay. I feel that. I get it. Like I said, I'm not advocating for either side. I have always just thought that I think people are so quick to throw out certain terminologies with the acts that people do. Obviously, it's going to leave more question because some of those acts resemble things that you would do with the same sex. But at the same time, I also know lots of couples that are very open-minded in the way that they act, and they just have a level of freedom. There's no judgment that's taking place in the room. And I respect the fact that they have come to a place as man and woman that they can just be free without people constantly trying to label type of stuff. You know what I mean? I just don't think ever that a man and woman in a room together can correlate to being homosexual. That's just my thoughts. Comment below. Tell me your thoughts.
Only
Go ahead.
reason why it can be though, actually, is because women can be used for that, you know, like to be like you can automatically imagine something else being something else.
You mean like a toy?
You can imagine having sex with a man while having sex with a woman.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you still can make it. You can't make it gay.
But couldn't you simply be kissing a girl and be thinking about a man as well?
Yeah.
I think if your thoughts are elsewhere, your thoughts are elsewhere. I mean, yes, I see what, obviously when you're in the act of something like that, it's going to be more likely to be thinking of the same thing. But people used to say that if you have anal sex with a girl, that's considered
It's gay. Yeah.
And I'm like, how can it be? Oh, a man got a butt. A man has lips. A man
Not
has
true.
everything that you have except for that one part. But
Yeah.
why is it because they both share the same thing as gay?
Well, now, the anal sex, right?
Let me just hear it, because that's technically a gay man's act.
That's not my particular choice
Okay.
of sex. I feel like as a man, you know, I'll watch it in a porno, but like me personally, that's not my cup of tea
Okay.
to get off on. But I enjoy watching it in a porn, right?
Okay.
But if you have a perfectly hot, wet wop right there, why would you then prefer to go
Okay,
into
but
it?
it's
It's
not
just
about
preferences.
Yeah, it's not about your preference. Exactly. It's really just your
What
choice.
do you say, T?
What?
She just said it.
Me? Oh, yeah, right. I'm not. You better go somewhere else for that.
Okay.
I got one hole.
But-
That's it. I
and-
don't do that.
You're
That
right.
hurts.
You're right.
No.
But I just hate when people try to make that comparison because I'm like, that's so small-minded. Like, why do you have to categorize everything? That's not gay if a man
one
has
for
sex
you.
with his girl.
What if you're having a threesome?
Okay, let's hear it.
And
With two
it's-
men and a woman?
with 2 men and a woman, and she does that. Now what?
She does
And
what?
she does what?
She starts the ass play with you, and there's another man there.
Well, see, first of all, I wouldn't be having a threesome with another man in the room, period. I'm just not into that type of vibe. I don't like that energy being in the same room. I've had girls
Would you have a
request that.
threesome with 2 girls?
Yes,
So you're double standard.
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. But I
Your
think
whole species is double standards.
Yeah.
Y'all all over the place. No, I won't do that. Yeah, I will do that, but I ain't doing that. Y'all don't know.
But
Y'all
here's the thing, and I had a show with this before, and my logic with this was very plain black and white. Generally, and I know there might be some pushback, most girls are more likely to cross over to girls than guys are, for sure. You guys experiment. You guys can be kissing on your girls, dancing on your girls, even and be completely straight. You change in front of each other. That's just you all's dynamic. So you're more comfortable being in a room naked. I had a friend tell me the other day, her and her roommates just lay around butt naked watching TV. My boys would never do that type of stuff. That's not what we do. So to ask a girl for a threesome, most likely she's either probably kissed a girl in high school or probably had thoughts of doing it. So it's something we're both enjoying. It's not just me in a room sharing my girl with some random dude that I'm hoping doesn't even touch me and toe better. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I want nothing to do with this added person. That's why, for me, I'm like, why would I subject myself to an environment like this that I don't want to be in? Right? That don't make sense?
No, yeah, that makes sense.
That's why I think the double standard is, I mean, if you're a completely straight girl, like, hell no, I don't want no girl near me, I'd never ask you to do a threesome.
But just in this, like, realm.
Okay.
Because, like, in other cultures, it's normalized.
What part?
Like, Asia, it's normalized. Like, men around men are slinging their dick all over the place.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, people in Europe are, you know, men kiss men, and it's not like, you know, gay. They kiss just saying hello.
Yeah.
So it's just in our, you know, in America, and especially in the black community, I feel like
I was
it's
about to
just
bring that up
not
next. Yeah.
you, because it's like you have to be a man, you have to be a boy, and boys don't do these things.
Yeah.
When it's like, that's all just, you know, that's all just generationally taught. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you come up with your own decisions as you get older, and you say, oh, I'm open to this and I'm not open to that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's really just only women are the way that they are because it's normalized.
Well, when I was young,
That's a spot on point. Yeah.
when I was younger, I used to always, like, me and my friends would run trains on girls. And,
Yeah.
you know, like, if maybe you and your friend are fucking one girl and she's sucking him and you're fucking her from the back. So
Keep going.
So that to me is like,
That's not a threesome.
what?
That's a train.
Train and threesome are the same thing, and it's a bonding thing for
I
men.
look at
Some
it like
people
this.
look
If-
at it
if
I
as
think
she's-
when you say threesome, that
if
means
she's sucking-
everybody's interacting with each
If
other.
she's sucking,
You don't think so?
if
I said,
she's
oh,
sucking,
yeah, maybe.
Oh,
that
okay, yeah.
if she's sucking the dude's dick,
Yeah.
and you're hitting her from the back,
Yeah.
that is a threesome.
Not really.
No, I don't consider that a threesome.
It's kind of gangbang.
Exactly. Oh, gangbang. Okay, yeah, I'll use that. Okay.
Because he's kind of right. The threesome is
Yeah.
like when people are interacting.
All three people are
Oh,
interacting.
okay. Well,
Like,
yeah.
the
Then
men are in them. They're all. Everybody is.
Then yeah, then that okay. Then my I'm sorry,
That's
my
all good,
terminology was wrong.
Yeah.
So if you're in a gangbang and the girl
Why you gotta say it like that?
and the girl is doing some wild shit,
Yeah.
then I feel like it gets a little tricky.
For two men to be in the room at the same time already, their masculinity is going to be, you know, they're going to be on the edge. You see what I mean? So she should not be adding that extra little limits by playing with some booty holes. At that point, all right, look, girl, listen.
What are you
It's already
doing?
enough. Yeah, at this
is
point, it's
not
too
the
much.
one.
Yeah.
This is not the threesome. This is
That
the
would not-
gangbang.
That would not be the time for her to
That's
be
not
exploring
the time. Unless
some
she's
stuff.
trying to get gang slapped.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, guys, so today we dove into the roles of each gender when it comes to financial, when it comes to sexuality, dominance versus submissive. Can the roles ever be reversed? Can the lines ever be blurred? Traditionally, we have things set to go a certain way. However, nowadays, things have been slightly different. So I wanted to bring on male and female so that we could talk this all out once and for all. Because there are definitely some stereotypes that sometimes need to be adjusted because of the way that society has told us to think. Is that always the right way, the only way? Or is there sometimes room to just be more free and think for yourselves between the comfort of your man and your woman? When it comes to who's supposed to pay for the bills and who's supposed to handle this or handle that and who's supposed to play this role in the bedroom, there's always going to be some room for some adjustments, and there shouldn't be judgment if two people decide to do things within their own household a certain way. All right, y'all, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching Fury Talks. I hope you enjoyed this wild, crazy episode. I want to thank my guests for being a part. Miss T, pleasure. Chris, always a pleasure, my brother. Please tell everybody how they can find you.
hey, you guys, you can find me on Instagram at Hi, my name's T.
Chris.
You can find me on Instagram, Saint Driptifer, or you can find me in the city near you.
There it is. All right, y'all. Thank you again for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if you haven't already, turn on the post notification button so you know when the next episode is coming. As always, appreciate you. Till next time, Fury Talks. Later.
very long.